I kind of like this.
A quick reminder before we get started. We're not going to allow video cameras in the room this afternoon to keep the numbers down. So if you have a camera, you can plug in to the distribution boxes along the wall behind the televisions just outside the briefing room.
You guys want me here?
Yes, please, come on up. Amr, congratulations. You can sit on this end if you don't mind. Or take one of the middle seats, please. Is Bob close behind?
I just came from the toilet. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Not far behind.
I'm just trying to really just digest this thing.
Take a breath, have a
you.
drink of water,
Thank
and we'll
you.
give Bob a minute to get here.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
John. Thank you, John.
And if it takes more than a minute, then we'll get going. Can you go give a peek and see if is he in the media center?
Medina Spirit, John.
I'll go check. There's another reminder.
Yes.
We'll open my
Medina Spirit.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank God.
And if you have a question, as usual, Fred and Charlie will be holding the wireless mics, and they'll hold them out for you. Please don't take them if you don't mind. All right, Bob's not even in the media center yet, so we're going to go ahead.
They said that he had not made it to the winner's circle, which is where we did the first stop, so it's going to be a while.
All right, it's going to be a little bit on Mr. Baffert, so we'll go ahead and get started. But congratulations to Medina Spirit, winner of Kentucky Derby 147, and we're happy to be joined by winning jockey John Velazquez and owner Amir Zedan. Congratulations to you both. Johnny, this is your fourth Kentucky Derby win. Johnny, your fourth Kentucky Derby win. You become the first jockey since Calvin Burrell to win the Oaks and Derby on the same weekend. Calvin did it in 2009. Just an incredible weekend for you. I think first we'd just appreciate it if you would take us through the race.
Well, we did talk about this, and I like this little horse. I know he's all hard. Strategy was very simple. Break out of there and try to put him in the lead. If somebody wanted to go faster than me, let him have it. I know that we were quick. And the more I looked at the race, the more I studied the race, I knew he was faster than the rest of the horses,
Yeah.
and especially the way he breaks out of the gate. And talking to Bob, listen, the whole team, what a great job, to keep this horse going the way he's done. And I knew he was going to be a fighter. I rode him twice before, and he fought for second for every step of the way, And the horses who won on Santa Anita in a fast track, so that everybody kind of got off of him, they didn't like him, but he runs some really good races, Santa Anita, and like I said, I didn't lose hope on him. I liked him. I love everything he did, and he showed up today.
And can you just tell us a little more detail from, say, the quarter pole home, especially the fight that he showed?
Like I said, I know he's a fighter. Those two races that he ran in California, he got hooked from the 3A pole home, and he fought. The other two horses won very easily on the lead, and it doesn't seem like he didn't run a good race. Though he did. I know he was. He's gonna fight anybody who come to him, and he did today. Every time I ask him for more, he kept going more and more, and that's all you ask for a horse. When you ride a horse like this, and they fight and they're competitive, you can't ask for anything else.
Amr Zedan, you set out in horse racing 5 years ago with the goal of winning the Kentucky Derby. Amazing that it would come together like this. Can you just share your emotions over the last half hour?
This is really surreal. I really just can't believe it. I was watching the race from down there, and obviously a lot of people you can't really see, but so what I was hoping is exactly what Johnny said. I was just hoping for a clean break. We got the 8-hole, and I knew I knew he had a heart that's bigger than his body, and all we needed is for him to be up front and just keep fighting, because no one was going to pass Medina if Medina really got the lead. And on the way into the stretch, I just couldn't see anything. I was going gray, and all of a sudden everyone was jumping on top of me. So it was I don't know. It was emotional. It was surreal. It was just amazing.
Johnny, you did ride him in his last 2 starts going out to California, and of course you were here last September to win the Derby on Authentic. Can you talk about the relationship with Bob and going out to California to ride this horse and getting this mount?
Well, I'm very glad, and not just glad, very thankful for the opportunity Bob has given me, though, you know. This
That's well.
opportunity doesn't come very often for a man like me, the age that I'm right now.
How about me?
Bob has given me the opportunity, you know, I'm 49 years old, and to think that getting this opportunity at this age, it doesn't happen in this business. So, you know, I'm very grateful and very thankful for the opportunity. So that's what keeps me hungry. I think I do a good job in what I do, and he has given me the option to stay around and ride these kind of horses.
Bob Baffert, thanks for joining us.
Well, this is one of the biggest Derby wins. Usually when I come in here, I feel like if I don't win, it's I bring in these heavy duty horses. And this year I really enjoyed myself. I came in here under the radar, and I thought, well, maybe he'll get a piece of it or something. But Johnny, he kept telling me, if he improves off his last race, he'll run well. And Ron Anderson, his agent, who's right there, he's really one of the sharpest. He's like and he told me, he says, if he just improves 2 points on the sheets, he says, you can win this thing. Wow. Well, he's going to do that, And so it's one of those things where, it's just it was thrilling win. And for this little horse, what he did today, he's got so much of Silver Charm in him, just a fighter. And he put him on the lead, and he was going along easy. And those horses came to him. I kept waiting for all those horses to pass him. When they turned for home, I go, well, I think he's out of horse. And all of a sudden I go, well, wait a minute, we didn't start rooting yet. When we got to about the 8th pole, we thought, this guy's got a shot. And we started going. I felt bad because some of the connections with the other horses were around there, and we got pretty loud there. But it was just a thrilling, because usually you go in thinking with a favorite or whatever, you expect to win it, and you're just relieved when Farrell won. Justify was like, oh, we got through here. But today, this guy, he did it. I mean, he's so cool, such a professional, and when you work with guys like this, him, like the Mike Smiths, all these, they're just so smart. They know every move. They know every horse, what they're going to do. He knew exactly what he was going to do. I went to sleep last night. I didn't think about what Johnny B, how he's going to ride him. I tell him, look, you ride him. I don't care what you do. You do, you know the horse really well now. And here we are, and I'm just so excited. And Amr here, I ran into him at an airport in Dubai on my way to the Saudi Cup. And I'm going there, I says, hey, Bob, in the airport, and it was him. We sat down there and we just talked for 2 hours while he's waiting for his flight. He says, I was thinking maybe I'll get back in and maybe we get together, win the Derby. And I go, yeah, right. Yeah, sure,
That's true.
And so then all of a sudden, he hooks up with Gary Young, the agent, top guy, and TaylorMade and Frank Taylor, and he says, we're looking at horses. They find this little horse, his friend Ray's. We looked at it, hey, we liked him, and and all of a sudden he's training. I have him down at Los Alamitos, and my assistant down there says, that horse that they didn't give much for, I think he's okay. I said, so we got him in, and sure enough, he broke his maiden. But it's been a Cinderella story, and even today he was asking me, can we light the board? I don't know, he might, you never know. But that's what I love about this business. Nobody knows for sure. And but I'm just so grateful that I can still compete at this level. I have the clientele. I'm like Johnny, I'm getting older. That window, you get older, that window starts closing, and you have to work harder at it. It's tougher. and I got a lot of support. I got my beautiful wife Jill there, who supports me. And by the way, she won a race today on the turf.
Congrats.
And that was like winning the Derby. And you know what she has to go through for my ups and downs, the highs and lows, and for her horse to win. That was the most greatest feeling. Just to watch, she felt like he felt winning the Derby. I mean, it's a invigorating excitement. The last 100 yards, I was just watching her during the race, but it was so exciting. And Jimmy Barnes, he's back. Nobody fell down. It was great, you know. Matter of fact, he said, "Should we put the flowers on this horse?" Of course, we're going to put the flowers on this horse. But I'm just elated, and I'm so fortunate. I cannot believe. I never imagined last night I was going to be sitting here.
We got a lot to cover with this horse, but first off, can you just reflect a little bit more on a record-setting 7 Kentucky Derbies and that achievement?
You know, it's one of those things where I've never been a keeping score like records and stuff, and you know, like the Grade 1 record I heard about a month ago, and it was a super jinx, you know, like, and we got it today with Gamine, but the 7 wins, it's like, I can't believe I won 2. You know, it's like, it's just, I leave here like, wow. I mean, we're just, can you believe it? Every time we won it, we look at each other, Jill and I'm like, can you believe we won the Kentucky Derby again? And it's exciting, and you know, I have my brother Bill here, my friend Carl Watson, and little Bodie, and so, you know, when you have your friends around you, it means a lot. And so it's one of those things where 7, whatever, it's just, I don't think about things like that. I just feel that I was so fortunate. That means I was surrounded with great, great people. You can't win it without being surrounded by not great assistants, Gallup boys. One of the Gallup boys, the exercise riders that came here, he was crying. He was crying in the winner's circle. He could not believe it. I've never been involved with a horse that he got on him. And so it's that feeling, you know, that dedication that we put into this as a trainer. You have to live it and breathe it. You cannot, there's no vacations, there's no nothing, and Jill knows, but today, she got her vacation in the winning that turf race, and it was all worth it, you know. And it's moments like this that we live for, and it happened. And my man, now what?
There you go.
Well,
Now
we
would be
gotta top
a
it, right?
good time to take some questions. Who wants to start us off? Tom Padula.
Bob, how far can you take this record? 7 and counting.
Oh, I never, you know, Tom, I don't think about the records. I just want to be back with a horse that's competitive. And that's, you know, the Kentucky Derby is, you know, there's other races, but the Derby is the race. And just to come here with a competitive horse, I thought we had a competitive horse. You know, I don't want to come here with an 80-to-1 shot. It's not really fun. And so I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think I could hit 5, you know, and 2 Triple Crowns. I mean, it's just like whatever. And so, but then Mr. Positive here, he said, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to win it," you know. So I like that. I need somebody like that because I always go in. I'm ready for that punch to the gut, you know, in this business. That's what we, you know, and so the highs and lows. But I don't know, you know, 8, whatever. You know, I may never have another horse, you know, good enough for this, but we're not going to give up. And I'm going to, as long as the clients still want me, and I'm like Johnny, as long as they still want us, we're gonna stay in there fighting away, trying to win these things.
I don't think you'll be needing new clients anytime soon. Charlie's got one in the front
This
row.
is for Johnny V. 4 wins. Just elaborate on that. You've done something that not a whole lot of jockeys are able to do, and you mentioned your age at 49. Just
Yeah,
Talk
I mean,
about
I gotta keep saying that I'm just blessed with the opportunities that I've been given. Though, you know, I never thought in my wildest dream that I would win 4 derbies. Though, you know, and I'm also like Bob. I never look at numbers. You know, everybody always asks, "Can you believe Johnny? You're leading money earner and all this stuff." So I never look at anything like that, or great one winner, or most great stakes winner. I never in my career looked at it like that. You can ask my wife. Everybody asks me the same questions. It's not a thing for me. I just want to come and do my job. I want to come and do the best job I can do for the people that I'm working with. Though, I take pride in what I do. I'm been very blessed with the opportunities that I've been given, and it works out. I think that's the way I always looked at it. I never looked at it and think to try to break records or try to win anything like that. It was a job. I'm very proud about my job. I like to do it really well if I get the opportunity, and it has been a blessing. So that's the way I look at it.
Yes, Ron.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Bob, was the well, for both you and Johnny, how is the strategy any different than it was with Authentic last year going to the lead? And Johnny, in particular for you, you haven't trailed in the Derby now in 2 years.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Don't tell them your secret.
It was a little bit different in the strategies because the post position that we had today, it was a little more crucial than the one that I had last time, though. And even though that we talked about it, that Authentic probably was going to be on the lead, I had this feeling that the position that we had with Authentic, it was going to be a compromise because it's something that happens almost 8 out of 10 horses. They don't break well from there for whatever reason. And yes, we thought about it going to the lead, but I had the feeling if I break bad, I want to go to the lead gradually instead of break bad and try to send, and all of a sudden he's going 21, and then we have nothing to fight with. So those things, it comes to my head that I want to be prepared for those kind of things that if it does happens, those things that I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy that all those things that happen. So this one was much different. I got a post position 8. I know I started the race really well. I know all the horses in the race, and I only thought that one horse was faster than me, and it was a horse who was on the lead last time out in Santa Anita, but he was outside today. And I said, if I break well, I'm going to try to outbreak it. And if he needs to go faster than me, then he can go faster than me. And it worked out good. My horse broke really well. I went right to the first to the wire. The first time we go past the wire, and I look outside, he's not there. Then the other horse that I thought it was Soup and Sandwich, that we would talk about it, I rode him, and I know he was going to be pretty fast. But I was already in my position. I was ready where I wanted to be. And from then on, it's just different, though. All those things that happens, you anticipate things that can happen. So it's about strategizing, and hopefully the horse help you to do those things. We cannot do anything without the horses. We can think everything that we can plan. We can do anything we want, but the horses have to help you. And very fortunate that the horses have done what we want to do.
And Bob, on going to the lead right away?
No, we just talked about that his best races, when he ran, it was the Robert Lewis. When he got out there and he went really fast, I said, when he goes out there fast, in that race, and they turned for home, and they came at him, and he wouldn't let them pass, and he fought them off. And when he came back, we thought it was a really hard race on him, and he came back, and he wasn't really tired. He wasn't blowing hard. So I said, he's got a good bottom to him. So if last time, he got behind, and they went really, really fast. He sat up, and he's not a horse that really finishes. He doesn't have like that another gear. He's just steady. And so Johnny, I said, he knows the horse now, and I said, I think he should run really well, and give him a chance. If you're turning for home and you're on the lead or something, I think maybe he'll give you the rest, and that's what he did.
Now, Bob sent me a text a week ago. He says, "Come out running and let him put up there." And I had not studied the race yet, and I texted him back. So you think we can be in the lead? He said, "Just don't take a hold of him." Then I studied the race really well, though. After I studied the race, Bob was 100% right, though. So I was like, you know what? And we talked about it, and the more I looked at it, and Bob says, that horse might not break good anyway. So make sure you let him have it first. And like you said, we plan all we can plan and anticipate things. The horse has to do the job as well. I'm only the pilot. Try to do what we think is the best for the horse, and it worked out. We were very blessed, really. So.
Tim?
Oh, this is for Johnny and Bob. When you got in the deep stretch, and it looked like it was getting a little dicey, did the horse give any impression to you that he was getting tired, and Are you surprised, Bob, of the result?
Do you
Do you want me to answer? No, I mean, I think I got more tired than he did. He was fighting. He was fighting for every bit of everything I asked him to do. He was fighting, and I was so proud of him because we got to the 16th pole, and he keep putting the ears down and keep fighting. I mean, I think I was more tired of him because I was trying to keep riding and much harder than what he was going to. But yeah, like I said, I was not afraid of. I mean, he was fighting.
Let's go to Tim Sullivan.
Yeah, I think I was more tired than he was of riding the last 16th of a mile because I couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes. I thought he had a good chance, and then when he was still there at the quarter pole, I thought, well, he's still there. 8th pole, he's still there. And the 16th pole, he's really, really still there. And you can tell he was just laying it down. And Johnny was riding hard, and those other horses, he was just relentless. He was not going to let him, and he came back. He didn't seem like he was, really that tired.
Tim?
For Mr. Zedan, on the television you talked about rehearsing your speech, and you ended up making comparisons between Bob and Picasso and Michelangelo. Was that part of the speech, or was that improvised, and could you elaborate on what you meant?
Well, that just came from the heart, really. When you work with Bob, and he doesn't need a compliment from me, Bob, a lot of people at their job, it's kind of mechanical, and it's a job. With Bob, and that's why age is not a factor. Bob has a lot of years to go, but with Bob, it's an art. It's gut. It's like Michelangelo, Pablo Picasso. It just comes out. It comes naturally, and you don't find that in people a lot, especially those who excel. You just can't be by coincidence a 7-time Derby winner. You can't win 2 Triple Crowns. It just doesn't happen. I'll just share 2 stories very quickly with you. We bought Princess Noor. She won a Grade 1. And every horse we buy, Gary picks, we check out, and then Bob gives the final go-ahead. So I was texting with Bob, and we put a certain limit. And then when she started going, because she was an expensive filly, and I have the text, I'm going to frame it actually and give it to Bob. Bob texted me and says, I'm going to make her worth this much. And guess what? He pulled it off. And when we met in Dubai, and this part he didn't mention, we were sitting in the lounge, and I said, Bob, we want to win the Triple Crown, but we want to win the Kentucky Derby, and then probably see where we are because we just don't have the horse yet. And 15 months later, here we are. So what I meant with that is, with Bob, you're just witnessing art in motion, and I just can't thank him enough, really. It's been amazing. And as part of the rehearsal, yes, I've been speaking to myself about the speech, who to thank, and it was just surreal. It's amazing.
And Gary picks out the horses, but you actually had a pretty extensive knowledge of Protonico and supported this purchase because of that relationship. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, with Protonico, Mr. Abu Ghazala, who's a dear friend, he runs under Sumaya Silks, and he owns Protonico. So we were done shopping, per se, during the auction. And then Mr. Abu Ghazala calls me and says, well, there's this horse by Protonico that I own the sire, and would you want to check him out? I said, absolutely. So I checked him out. And I liked him. So I called Gary. I said, Gary, what do you think? Let's run it by Bob. So Bob gave the okay, right? So we looked at his breeze, everything was fine. So I was back home overseas. So Gary called me and says, do you want us to go for this horse? I said, well, yeah. Bob said yes. You say yes. Let's do it. I said, Gary, it might be in an hour. You know what? I'm just going to call me in an hour when he goes into the ring. And I miscalculated. So, and I was going to go in the shower. So Gary calls me literally 2 minutes later, says, sir, he's going in the ring right now. It's a good thing I kept my phone right next to me. I said, yeah, let's do it. And the rest is history. We just bought him, and here we are.
Next question. Danny.
Bob, I know they're all special, but when you think about everything surrounding this horse and the ups and downs of this game, is this one maybe a little bit more up the charts for you?
Yeah, I mean, usually this is the Derby that my other derbies and there were some that I lost that I thought I couldn't lose, but this is the only Derby I came in here thinking, oh, I just don't know if we've got the goods. We know he's solid, he's good, and he's tough, but everything's going to have to go really well to get it done. We have to have the trip. You know, we know we had the jockey. He got away from there. You know, I love Johnny because he's so good away from the gate. I mean, he could have ridden for me at Los Alamitos quarter horses, and he just leaves the gate. You know, and that's what you need. Yeah, I love guys that can just get a horse away from there. And so, but it was one of those things where it's almost like when we won with Abel Tasman, when we won the Oaks, we came in there thinking, we don't know, and she's last down the backside, and we're like, Bodie said, I guess we're going to eat at the sports bar tonight because she's not running well, and then she wins. And we were just elated. I mean, these wins like this, the ones that, you know, we were in the Derby, maybe we might have a chance, but I try to temper myself. I don't want to get too excited. And I didn't want him to get too excited. Just let's go in there. We're in the Derby. We'll just cruise on in there. Maybe we have a chance, maybe we don't. And if we pull it off, then we say, holy crap, what did we just do, you know? But that's what the Derby's all about. Nobody, the night before, everybody thinks, every trainer, every owner thinks they're going to win the Kentucky Derby. It sounds like a crowded winner's circle. And so, but then when the gates come open, the whole scenario changes. And we had the horse. He had the horse under him to pull it off. And it's just a team effort. And we're just totally just, you know, he came through for us. You know, he showed me today, hey, Bob, I'm a lot better than you think I am. And he's a hell of a lot better than I thought he was. And he's a really good horse. He's tough. And so it's like, but you know, his record, he runs first or second. I mean, his record that's what you want coming to the Derby. And he was first or second, but I just didn't want to be talking him up too much. I want to come in here and enjoy ourselves, and we had a great time, and here we go.
Justina.
Back to the sales part of it, Bob. He was a relatively, I would say, bargain deal for a 2-year-old compared to what you're used to. Can you talk a little bit about how he made such a giant leap in like less than a year, about the process when you knew he was special, kind of when you had some idea of that?
Yeah, we knew once we started, when he bought him, he worked really well at the sale. He worked really fast, and then he worked fast. When I got him to Los Alamitos to start training him, he was training with those other horses. My assistant down there, he told me he acts like he could be a good horse, you know. And so, but he doesn't really pay attention to what we gave for him or anything like that. My assistant there, we've got some that, and he'll tell me, he'll be frank with me. He says, yeah, I don't know about this one, and so when he tells me, you know, he could be a good one, he made the list, and so we got him over and started training him, and he was, you know, won his first out, and you know, he's the good ones, you know, they tip you off, and so he was one of our good ones. Same thing happened authentic, you know. We had all these other good ones, right? But you know, if they're good in the Bob Baffert barn, they're pretty good, you know. And so we compare him with our other horses. So, you know, he was always one of the top horses. But you know, a lot of people, this happened with Real Quiet. He only cost $17,000. Real Quiet never really got the respect because they look at the price. This horse, he was by Protonico, who was a good horse. Todd, you rode him.
I rode him, yep.
And he was a good horse, well bred, didn't get the mares, and in this business. And so, but if you look, he's a beautiful horse. He's a big, and he looked in the paddock today. He looked. He's growing. I could tell he's filling out now. He's starting to mature, and he looked really good in the paddock, you know. And so, and he felt good. He was on his, you know, he was
sharp.
He was on it. He was sharp. He walked in there like he didn't care about the other horses, and so, you know, that's all you can do. My job is just, you know, get him there and give him a chance. And when he gets on there and he pushes the button doesn't stick, you know. And so, and he had the horse. I said, you're in charge. And the thing is, there wasn't really pressure on me or on him, and it was nice. You know, Mr. Zedan, he comes in here and enjoys the day and gets the Derby experience, and It was just, but it was so exciting. I haven't been that excited in a long time. I'm telling you, it was so exciting. I don't know how you can contain yourself that last 50 yards.
Bob, Johnny's won 2 in a row for you now, and there are rumors that he might move his tack to California. Are you part of that conversation? And can you talk about Johnny's success
I've never
with
been
you?
part of that conversation, but I know one thing. He's got one of the best agents, Ron Anderson, and he's got Rosario. He's got him, and I have a lot of respect for him. And I call him. If I want to run a horse, and even if he's not riding, I'll ask him, "What do you think of this spot? Am I in the wrong spot?" He'll say, "You're in the wrong spot." Okay, you know what I mean? You need. I have feelers out there. You have to have feelers, and so, yeah, Johnny's like he'd like it out there.
I
And
like
so-
it out there.
But he's got a boat.
Especially
See,
when I
he
ride
bought
for
a
him.
last year. He bought a boat. It says authentic on it, so he keeps it down there. You know, I don't know. It's a little rough out there in California, that water.
Any other questions before we wrap up?
Oh,
Bob?
what time are you at the barn tomorrow?
4:30. No.
You and Lucas, yeah.
No, I'm going to be breezing horse. I'll be there I'll be there till about 9 o'clock because I'm going to fly out at about 9:30. But because I'm breezing some horses before I leave, I'm breezing Concert Tour and some other horses for that.
So you get there at?
Well, you get by 8 o'clock. You know, we're going to work the horses earlier and.
Track closes at 7:30.
It does? Oh.
Yeah.
7:30. I'll be there real early. I might just stay at the barn.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thanks for joining us up here.
Thank you.
Medina Spirit wins the Kentucky Derby.